People have Lion's Eye Diamond now, so sometimes they want to continue going off once they've been dredging, and they have no cards left in their hand. So what they will do is they'll, use a Dread Return on a Sun Titan, and then get some zombie tokens, and use the Sun Titan's trigger to return a Lion's Eye Diamond back to play, which they can sacrifice then and flash back one of the Faithless Lootings that they've milled. And that allows them to keep going through their library. But Adam has eschewed that in favor of just more dredgers, and he's still playing 2 Icarids, even though he has Faithless Looting, which I like a lot.
So John mulliganing to 4.
And John mulliganing to 4.
And that's rough.
That's really rough.
Blade.
Blue-White Blade can still win on 4 cards, and luckily he's playing against a deck where, the amount he mulligans to, especially in game 1, once he's down below a certain number of cards, he's just hoping that Adam's hand turns into a stinker.
Yeah.
He doesn't know Adam's playing Dredge, but Dredge can lose to itself.
Right.
And at this point, that's kind of what John is hoping for if he's mulliganing to 4.
He's hoping for it without actually knowing that Adam is playing Dredge.
Yeah, I mean, because if he has 2 lands and a Stone Fortress deck, he might just be fine. He's going to 3 cards, I assume?
Yikes. Well, as we were talking yesterday, Dredge almost always wins game 1 anyway. So if you're going to mull to 3, you might as well do it against Dredge when you're going to probably have a tougher time.
I mean, if you keep a 7-card hand, you have like a very reasonable game plan against them, especially on the play. You can...
it's just Dredge, I think, is typically strongest game 1 before the sideboard hate kind of comes in. And in this situation, he's, John mulliganing here he can find out Adam's playing Dredge without giving away what he's playing, potentially. He can just see what Adam does on turn 1, depending on, I don't know who's on the play, but if Adam's on the play, John's going to know it's Dredge fairly quickly, and quick enough to, okay, he should know it's Dredge now. Adam, obviously, on the play. And, he goes with Force of Will, removing Snapcast.
Yeah.
Down to 1 card.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on what card that is, I don't know what. Yeah. Tundra Go. Nice top deck, I guess.
I think it's an Undiscovered Paradise in his hand.
Yeah, I think so too.
And a Breakthrough for 1. Now, pretty interesting thing that just happened here. Now Adam also has 1 card in hand. Unfortunately for John, Adam's deck doesn't really mind.
Yeah, Adam's fine with that. For John, I think what I would have done there, I would have seen that he's playing Dredge and just gone to game 2. I mean, honestly, it feels like you're at such a disadvantage with 3. I mean, his other option apparently was Force of Will, which puts him to 1 card. He's basically like I don't think he can win this game. How reasonable an assumption is it that John just loses this game?
It's possible for him to win.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Adam just hit a Grave Troll, so maybe not. But if Adam, like that last card Adam dredged was the Grave Troll. If he did not dredge that Grave Troll, that's the only dredger in his yard right now.
But it's not as if John just needs 1 more turn to win. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Adam's going to have plenty of time, plenty of turns to go off, and because John just doesn't have anything. All right, it looks like he's already deciding to scoop him up. See, I think in that situation, I'm playing against Adam Prosak, who I at least know is a very, very good player. Mm-hmm. Even if I don't know he's on Dredge at first, as soon as he plays the Imp on turn 1, I can be pretty confident. All right, he's on Dredge. I have 3 cards in my hand. I'm just going to go to game 2 and sideboard for Dredge. And now Adam doesn't know really how to sideboard. Adam may not sideboard at all. As you mentioned earlier, it's a 60-card combo deck. Sideboarding actually may make it worse. But Adam, at least you can go into game 2 knowing, having a leg up in information, knowing what Adam's playing and he doesn't know what you're playing.
Yeah, and I mean, Adam could sideboard in a number of different cards, but one of the hard parts about playing Dredge is that you don't know what cards you're going to have to sideboard in, because you need to sideboard in specific answers to the hate card that your opponent's going to be playing.
Right.
And if you don't know what your opponent's playing, it's pretty hard to do that.
Now, in this case, Adam saw Tundra, Snapcaster, Force of Will. I think he can be pretty confident that it's Blue-White Blade.
I think he can be pretty confident it's Blue-White Blade, but the sideboard options available to Blue-White Blade. I mean, some players play different cards in their sideboards to beat Dredge.
Right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Dredge hate, it doesn't even matter what color deck you're playing. You can play Ley Lines, you can play Grafdigger's Cage, you can play
Tormod's
Crypt, Relic. All those are either artifacts or can be played without black mana, you know, in the case of the Ley Line. So
I like Relic a lot. I play Relic in my Blue-White Blade
deck.
I like
Relic.
And, you know, I get to sideboard in my Relics against Bant decks. I sideboard them in against the Rug decks. They're excellent. They provide me a way to beat cards like Punishing Fire. They're good against Dredge, and they're also excellent against opposing Tarmogoyfs. They let me save my Swords to Plowshares for things like Vendilion Click or Delver of Secrets.
I like that, yeah. Yeah, that's one of the funny things about Grafdigger's Cage is that it doesn't host Tarmogoyfs.
No, it does not.
It hosts graveyards in general, but Tarmogoyf is fine with the Grafdigger's Cage.
Yeah. So is Ghoultree. Ghoultree, the anti-Grafdiggers card that they've printed.
What's that?
Ghoultree?
Oh yeah. That's like the 7? It's what it costs 8 and I'm sorry, a green and 7 more. Is that right? And it costs 1 less for each creature in the graveyard, right?
Yeah.
It would be awesome to see that card suddenly start making an appearance somewhere, Legacy, Standard, whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way that card can be playable.
It's monstrous, yeah. It's a 10/10, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Okay. That seems... I mean, it seems like there's something there. I mean, can you play like can you build like a Havengul Lich deck or something in Modern where you're like throwing creatures all in the some sort of weird like Dredgevine kind of thing?
Yeah, I think Dredgevine is definitely a real deck in Modern. I'm interested to see how people, you know, start adapting to the new set, and you know, there are like Faithless Looting can be really good in Modern, and I don't know if people have really experimented with it a lot yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see those types of decks start showing up at PTQs. And I mean, Modern is a format that actually like has not been as popular as a lot of people thought it was going to be. I think Modern's a very good format. I think there are a few issues that they need to solve. I think they need to unban quite a few cards if they want to make the format more diverse. They've
what's the highest card on that list of unbanning?
I think Green Cincinnati should be unbanned. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and restart the stream for you guys. Apparently we've been having some problems. So please be patient. We thank all of you for your patience here. We'll be back very shortly with more coverage of the Star City Games Legacy Open here in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, it'll only be a few seconds, so.
Yeah, it won't be very long.
We're back.
All right,
we're back.
man,
Apparently.
we're back.
Hopefully, looking a little better for you guys, sounding a little better for you guys. The heater, I believe, is still on, maybe just not as loud. I kind of hear humming, but you know, that's something out of our control. I know you guys are experiencing some issues out there, but on our end, things are all flowing fairly well. Yeah. I was actually working with Jesse during one of the breaks just to kind of look at things, and you know, it looks great. The signal we're sending out is great. It's somewhere on the Twitch TV side that things are getting a little bit choppy, or the audio is off sync. Like that's, you know, somehow it's something that we don't really have any control over, unfortunately. Hopefully, restarting the feed or restarting the stream maybe made some sort of positive impact. But on to the game. John leads on an island.
Beta Island.
Yeah, very nice. And Adam with the gemstone mine again, turn 1 and turn 1 imp. So same opening for Adam as last game. And it worked out pretty well for him.
Yeah, I mean, if he has a Dredger to discard, and then he get followed up with something like a Faithless Looting, or a breakthrough or a careful study, he's going to be in pretty good shape here.
So there's Golgari Thug, goes to the yard for the imp, and then dredges back. And is that an Ancient Grudge?
That is an Ancient Grudge.
Was it Ancient Grudge double Dread Return and another imp?
Yes. So he has a little bit of Icarid fodder.
And discards 2 Golgari Thugs. And goes with a Careful Study here. Alright, Careful Study gets Force of Willed.
Alright.
Removing Counterspell. Second imp for Adam. Swings in with the first imp. Yeah.
And he does have Threshold.
Turn 2 Threshold, not bad.
Now,
Flooded Strand for John.
Probably going to go ahead and grab a Tundra here. He knows the Dredge deck's not going to be attacking his mana base. And a Stoneforge Mystic.
Yep. Stoneforge Mystic now
cards around.
A little scary knowing that there's an Ancient Grudge right there in Adam's graveyard. So he's going to need to somehow deal with the graveyard before he just opens himself right up to that grudge. So what did he grab?
He got Jit.
Okay.
Which is pretty good. I mean, if he can somehow get that grudge out of Adam's graveyard, or just get the Jit in play at like a key moment and equip it and get some counters on it, he can use that Jit in order to remove a bunch of Bridge from Belows from his opponent's graveyard by killing his own Stoneforge Mystic. And it's a weird thing that like you're looking for equipment so you can kill your own guy, but when you play against Dredge, the ways you interact with the deck are very strange, and you need to get creative at times.
Now Adam just dredged a second Ancient Grudge into his graveyard, so that's going to be tough. Looks like he flashes back a Faithless Looting that just got dumped into the yard too. So here we see
Diamond allows that to happen.
Some more dredging happening, and Narcomoeba into play. And some more dredging, gets a second Narcomoeba. Are we going to see a flashback Dread Return here? Does he have a target for it?
And what can he currently Dread Return?
I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I didn't actually see anything really worth returning. He's got Golgari Grave Troll, but that's really not the most impressive.
And now he attempts to flashback Cabal Therapy, and he's waiting on the bridge trigger right now. And a Surgical Extraction response is going to get rid of all of Adam's Bridge from Belows. Yep, so Adam's going to have to work pretty hard to win this one. Surgical Extraction, very good here.
Yeah, I mean he's only got he's got 3 in the board actually. So he is lucky though to have drawn it so early before things get too out of hand. So I believe that was a Cabal Therapy. We see Wrath of God, Elspeth, and Stoneforge Mystic there.
Elspeth is interesting.
Yeah.
It's still inning game 2 against Dredge.
Yeah, not really as impressive, I don't think here. But there is a Riptide Lab.
Riptide Lab is one of my favorite cards ever.
I love it, mainly because I like its interaction with some of the other really awesome cards that I like to play with. Like Snapcaster Mage and Spell Stutter Spray.
So Adam's going to have to try to get aggressive here. He's removing some cards in his graveyard for that Ichrid.
So
He's going to try to back up some beats here with
the
his
Ichrid.
Ancient Grudges.
Oh yeah.
To protect from Jit. And that's some more.
Yeah, Narcomoeba into play. So he's got double Narcomoeba, double Imp, and an Ichrid in play right here.
Yeah, and he's going to start swinging in for a lot more damage. And John's in a pretty awkward spot here.
Yeah, it's looking pretty bad for John. He's at 2 life. Very precarious position. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Wow, these matches are going pretty quickly. That was actually less.
Yeah, I mean, dredge matches usually take forever.
Right.
We've been having dredge matches that are done in like 15 minutes.
Oh, in the first case, Dredge just lost very quickly to Elish Norn in 2 games.
Yeah.
In this case, Dredge wins very quickly to basically beats John's mulligan to nothing in game 1, and then game 2 here a little bit more of a game, but I mean Dredge did what Dredge does, and even though John was able to draw into one of his graveyard removal spells and remove Bridge from Below, Adam just had enough beatdown